The Soul of the Other Shore is a horror-adventure puzzle game that combines the themes of life and death, the underworld and the lander. It is presented in the form of a side-scrolling 2D game, interspersed with up and down game modes. It tells the story of a little girl who helps the wandering souls in the underworld with her lantern and collects their souls. The design pillars of my game are death, soul journey, switching between the outer world and the inner world, and exploration. Death is the core theme of the game, and all the characters in the game are dead souls, including the player who is a guide of the underworld in a dying state. The player can communicate with the souls and understand their feelings and wishes. Soul Journey. Soul Journey is the main plot of the game, which describes the process of the little girl looking for her identity and purpose in the underworld. Finally, Exploration. Exploration is the main gameplay of the game, which allows players to encounter various strange things and characters in the underworld, stimulating players' curiosity. This is the core loop of my game, which is story-driven, starting from puzzles and then unlocking new areas. Fulfill a task, revealing the truth, and then continuing to puzzles. Generally speaking, a core loop consists of 3 elements: actions, rewards, and progress. The player explores and solves puzzles in the underworld by action such as switching the lantern on and off. The reward is unlocking new area after solving the puzzles successfully. The progress is getting closer to the truth of the story. This is our team content. We started by thinking about the game process of a common game, which mainly consists of 6 parts: game genre, game theme, game goal, combat system, game story, and character. I brainstormed them one by one. Next, we summarized and selected the following keywords as our design pillars from the lecture we read. Finally, I chose and combined these keywords with the content of my game, and made some modifications and additions, forming my final design pillars. Next is the art part. I will mainly divide the art part into characters, scenes, and animations to talk about. First of all, I draw a rather ordinary little girl, with the main colors being brown, red, and orange. The intention is to have a bright color in the underworld. As a messenger of the underworld, the color is more recognizable, and it will bring some warmth to the cold underworld. Then, with this little girl, I draw an animation. A total of 6 pictures can form a loop. In the up and down mode of the game, I used the materials from RPG Maker to create the animation of the little girl walking and stop. In the image creation, I tried to be as close as possible to the original version, so that it would not feel too discordant. For the scenes, I created a total of 5 scenes. The first 4 are side-scrolling 2D games, and the last one is an up and down game. First of all, I draw the scenes that would frequently switch between the outer world and the inner world. I used the color blocks to quickly sketch out the scene's concept, and then I found some materials on a free material website and integrated my ideas together. Then I blended the scenes. For the outer world of these scenes, I mainly used the color tones, which are more in line with the setting of the underworld and enhance the horror atmosphere. Then there is the inner world. I used the black and white as the base color and did not make much changes to the original scene. I deliberately added a sunset on the left as the background. This method of using bright colors to contrast the black and white tone can add a touch of wildness to the scene. The next 2 scenes use the same idea, which is to quick draw the concept with color block. then blend them with materials, and finally integrate and adjust them. But color tone of these two things is slightly warmer, because I want to combine the game plot to give a sense of security. The last scene is the mats in up and down mode. It uses a cold tone overall. The background is from the RPG Maker materials, and the mats walls are drawn by myself. To add a scene of mystery to the scene, I made a mask over it, so that in the game it feels like walking in the dark with only a faint light source, with added a touch of horror. Finally, I made some small animations. The first one is the cutscene animation that represents the lantern switch in the game. The second one is the blood tears that the little girl left at the end of the game. The last part is prototyping, so let's get started on that.